on this snowy Monday morning. Oh, was it tough this morning getting rid of that? It was a wet snow about a foot. I struggled for 2.5 hours out there this morning. I'm actually wiped out removing that snow today. Oh my gosh, 2.5 hours. It was a struggle. It's a wet, heavy snow. They're getting hammered in New England. So I kind of got spared. Maybe. What's up, Sean? So, oh my gosh, what a morning I've had. Tough. It's been tough. Now, I'm not the person that goes off on speculation. You know, I try to stray from that as much as possible. But there are multiple videos that the carrier is now near Crete. Despite what other people might say. But that's what it looks like, because there's multiple reports coming out. And also sewage problems on the fort. Multiple reports of that. And there goes my camera. So it looks like they're having some issues. That's not a sanitary situation on the carrier. Oh my God. Yeah, we got a lot of snow. So like I said, I try to stay away from, the fort is near Israel. No, the fort is here. You know, when we start getting true information, speculation all over the place, you can almost make your head spin kind of deal. And that's why I don't look at flight radar 24/7, because it'll drive you nuts with speculation. But why don't we play a couple of clips? And it's okay to speculate. It's what we do every day. But when it's just like you're taking guesses and you're saying, oh, no, it's here, no, it's there, definitively, like, no, it's not. Not until you have something to back it up. You know what I mean? So there are multiple videos coming in now from multiple angles. So it's near Crete. It's near Greece. But there are issues they're reporting on the carrier. So there are definitely some issues going on with the carrier. Allegedly, they're having toilet issues. Let's just say that. That's not good. Here's another person that captured it. Right there. So now Rubio's going to Israel on Monday instead of Saturday. But yeah, there are multiple angles coming for the Ford. And there's multiple people filming it as it entered near Crete. They're giving... there's some, like I said, there's so much speculation. I don't like to but allegedly the deadline is tomorrow for Iran to make that proposal for a meeting on Thursday in Geneva, Switzerland. There are fuelers at Ben Gurion in Israel. There's a bunch there. There's more rallies going on in Iran. And more rhetoric, of course, out there. Not to be unexpected. They also are telling people to get out of Lebanon, European countries, United States, for their safety. So get out of Lebanon. There's a bunch of stuff coming in, actually. But it's not really like major. It's just a typical. So yeah, it says here he postponed it to Monday. Secretary of State Mark Rubio. Then there was a post that the president put of Mark Levin, saying that Mark Levin was talking about you can't trust them with any kind of deal, and he talked about that, and the president reposted that on Truth Social. So a lot of people speculating, oh, the president knows he can't trust them to make any kind of deal. Why would he repost that? There really is, yeah, you seen about the toilet problems? You seen it for a while? I don't want to show the pictures because they actually have a picture of them all sitting with the water flooded as they're, you know what I'm saying? That's too much information. No, it is not yet tomorrow. Not yet. It's evening now. It's not tomorrow yet. It's 10:37 here. So Iran is 8.5 hours ahead. So what is it, like 5 o'clock in the afternoon? Alexa, what time is it in Tehran?
It's currently 7:07 p.m.
7:07 p.m. Oh my God, what time is it here already? Shit. I've been busy this morning. Oh my God, time is flying. 7:07, so it is not tomorrow yet in Iran. Will be soon. If I had more room to get my flag is hanging in front of my house, where it should be. If I had more room, I would. Maybe I should put the Israeli flag, that banner I made, but I would have to get a smaller flag to put there. Put that one down below and put the American flag on top. It's not a bad idea. Who said that? Mom knows best, yes. What's up, Helmet? Iran made a deal with Russia over $500 million to order military things. From Financial Times. Oh my God, Eugene, make your enemy think you're weak with the toilet issues. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh jeez. That's too much. That's a little bit much, don't you think? Well, there's kind of that. You know what I mean? Mom knows best. Or Francis. Yeah, there's so much going on. And the president has been posting about the cartel thing too. In Mexico. There are a lot of people concerned that it might hit the fan here. As I said yesterday, it is going to be, JC, it's going to be an interesting... I don't know how much longer this can go. You know what I mean? I mean, is this going to go another week, 2 weeks, a month with Iran? You would think it's about that time. It's getting like really near go time, if you're going to do go time. Which I still believe go time is happening. Maybe by the weekend? Who knows? I'm tired of speculating, you know? I am so tired. Yeah, right? Put it right next to your alien buddy. Maybe I should put a sticker on the alien's forehead. Mom knows best. So, like I said, there's a lot. The U.S. Embassy in Beirut has reportedly evacuated dozens of its staff members through the Rafik Hariri International Airport in anticipation of confrontation between Hezbollah and Israel, as well as possible targeting of U.S. staff. Israel has been hitting Hezbollah. It has to do more with maybe a confrontation with Iran. I mean, that doesn't like make too much sense to me. Hold on, he's putting out something else. And then Netanyahu's I guess he's making a bunch of statements. We are in a very complex and challenging days. No one knows what the future holds. We are vigilant and prepared for every scenario. I have made it clear to the Ayatollah regime that if they make the gravest mistake in their history and attack the state of Israel, we will respond with a force they cannot even imagine. In these days, we must close ranks and stand shoulder to shoulder. We have already proven that when we stand together, we achieve great accomplishments. On the eve of the Purim holiday, we stand together, and with God's help, we will ensure the eternity of Israel. That's just a couple of statements coming in from Netanyahu. And then they're showing the photos of the tankers in Israel at an airport. Lebanese reports several European embassies in Beirut also evacuated their staff following the evacuation of the American embassy in the Lebanese capital. Reports from Iran. I don't know what to take from this. There was a text message, allegedly. And obviously, it was meant as a message for the Iranian people. Now, I would like to see if the Iranian people, anyone in Iran, had this. Reports from Iran, residents received anonymous text message. The U.S. president is a man of action. Wait. Now, I would like to hear somebody confirm that from Iran if they got a text message like that. I am exhausted with the snow removal. That's another story. Thank God you got to talk to your husband, Tammy. So that's another thing that's out there. I would like to hear someone from Iran confirm they got a text message that said that. What's up, Eugene? And JC and everybody. Ada. Eugene. Shorty. Uncle Tank. So I don't know if that's true. This is what the other side is reporting. For Iran, I mean, isn't it like, not for nothing, isn't it getting tiresome hearing the same old BS coming from the Iranian foreign minister or the Iranian president or the Iranian this and the Iranian that? And, the president, he's kind of quiet. He's getting ready for the State of the Union tomorrow. But they just keep talking. Whether it's like, we're ready for war. If you start, we'll finish. You have no idea what we're capable of. All that rhetoric shit. And then on the other side, we're negotiating. We're still trying to go negotiate with the United States on a nuclear deal. And it's like, enough of this. Can just somebody say, listen, either you accept this or you don't. That's it. What the hell is this? Because they're trying to push zero enrichment. No, we're not agreeing to that. So if they're not agreeing to it, that's it. Do they expect the United States to negotiate that? Is it something we don't know about? That was on the table at some point and now it's not and could be brought back? I'm like, enough of this. Enough. I know it's a stall tactic for them. It's also us getting ready. But my gosh, it's like so every day. You know what I mean? It's like, my gosh, stop. And they put it out there because they can say, and it's all posture. If anyone can't figure this out, then I don't know what to tell you. But it's all posturing. We were putting it out there. We were trying to negotiate with the United States. We told them that we'd come back in Geneva the first time with a counter proposal. It would take about what did they say? 2 weeks? Then the president sent 10 to 15 days, and then they said, we'll give one to Wickoff within 2 to 3. Now I'm hearing there's a deadline tomorrow. Can I just hear from an official, a real official? Not, I'm so, you guys have no idea how tired I am. An official, close to the situation, or a senior official, or this or that. Enough. Unless it comes from the horse's mouth, whether that's the president, Rubio, or someone in the upper echelon chain, I ain't buying nothing. And definitely not from Iran, because they just want to put it out there so they could say, oh, we were trying to negotiate with the United States, but they decided to attack us. You know this is a freaking game, isn't it? I mean, really? Have we not all been through enough of this already? And again, do you even trust them anyway? Really? You know what I mean? What's up, Mohammed? How you doing? There is no... What is that? There is no... The UK is not going to be involved. They have been moving too much gear. Yeah, I think we're all sick of it, right? Oh my God, Bert, it's like there's going to be more talk after this. I don't know how much you can go further, Bird, to be honest. I really don't. Not for nothing. Those people on the Ford carrier, despite the issues they're having on board, they need to get back home. They've been out to sea for too long. For real. They need to get back to their families. They need rest. They need to get back home. Now, does that mean the bush is over there to replace it so that they can swap it? I don't know. But if it ain't going to happen soon, then you got to do something. It's either do it or don't do it. Because it's also pushing our men and women in the military. You know what I mean? I mean, that's another thing. I mean, come on. What is it, 9 months they've been at sea? Something like that? 8, 9 months? No. They need to get back home. And especially with the issues on board, can you imagine the stresses just being out to sea that long, plus all the nonsense that's going on? That's not good. Those people need a break. Like anyone else needs a break. They need a break too. So I don't know if they're trying to figure out a way to get them home, fill the void with another carrier group, do something. If you don't do something soon, then get them home. I'm serious. Ford would never let anyone know that they're having tech problems and data. Well, there's major reports, Eugene. Major reports they're having. And the same problem actually happened with the bush. Because somebody that I know knew what was going on in the bush, and they had issues with the sewage. And now I know what they were talking about. But that was like a month ago. It is PSYOP. It's all PSYOP. But it's like sickening already. Yeah, they're pushing hard. It is pushing stresses, of course, on the families. But think about their stress. Of course, the families go through the stress. But think about their stress. Of course, the families are stressing. I mean, they'll really be stressing once conflict starts. That's when the stress really. But they're all undergoing some real stress right now, just being out there too long. In my opinion. Mohammed said he personally hasn't received it, but everyone in Iran is talking about. Really? The message? That text message? Really? That's interesting. So Muhammad is confirming that he didn't get it, but others in Iran have that text message. The president doesn't go back on his word, just wait, something like that. I read it a few minutes ago. I know you talked about this, but Italy isn't that far away with the Olympics being over. Does that make sense? Honestly, I don't think he wants to go into the State of the Union to discuss it. I think he's going to wait till after the State of the Union. And to see the deadline. I don't, to be honest, like I said, we could all speculate. Would he do it tonight to set it up for the State of the Union tomorrow to announce it? And we are now in the process of freeing the people of Iran? Usually that's a lot of domestic talk, what goes on in the State of the Union. And yes, they do touch, usually the president, whoever it is, will touch on foreign policy toward the end of the speech. Then they get a little bit, they touch on the foreign policies, but a lot of it is domestic. Usually. I don't know. Because how many times? Oh, it's going to happen tonight. Oh, it's going to happen this weekend. Oh, it's at the Olympics. I mean, now you could say, you could come up with anything. Ramadan? Which I don't think would have anything to do with it, honestly. But, you can pick out of the hat and choose. Okay, so is he going to wait till after or before the State of the Union? Is he going to wait till the deadline tomorrow of this alleged proposal that's going to be made? Are we going to wait till after Thursday if there's a meeting in Geneva? And then how soon after that meeting are the, like Birdman said, is there going to be another meeting set up? Who knows? And we all, everyone's going through stress. For sure. But you know what I mean? I think we're all going through stress here with all that's going on here too, whether corrupt politicians, government ripping us off. Look, there's so many things going on. Look at Mexico yesterday. And it's still going on. That's gonna be something that we got to keep an eye on with Mexico, with the cartels. I personally, like I said, I don't want to get into it because that was yesterday, and it's still, like I said, it's a long time coming, but I don't know if the Mexican government is ready for this. You know what I mean? Yeah, at this point, anything could happen. It's like, oh my gosh. Maybe, Mom. I'm not repeating that. I got banned for a while on Facebook because of that video yesterday from Mexico, where I slipped showing something. What's up, Chaos? And Vincenzo and Kev. Personally, I don't think it would be any significant day. It will happen when the time is right. And that's going to be determined when the president decides. But the wild card here is, what does Benjamin Netanyahu do? Does he keep waiting and waiting and waiting? I don't think so. He probably indicated when he met with the president, if I know you're doing your thing, but I'm going to have to do my thing. And there's going to come a time where I got to do what I have to do. And it seems like, that again, I didn't hear it from the president's mouth. People right away, oh, the president gave Netanyahu the green light to attack Iran. I never heard anything like that. But people assume, or Netanyahu's the one that's the real person taking charge here and dictating to the president what he should do. Listen, for those in the United States, no one is going to tell the president what to do ever. He makes up his own decision, his own mind. So that's bullshit. in itself. Oh, because you hear a lot of that. Oh, President Trump is Netanyahu's puppet, is Israel's puppet. We know our president. Do you believe that? Anyone here believe that? Whether you're pro, anti-Trump, period. Just based on the person, the individual. His character. And this is not just as president. This goes on for decades. Do you know when, because I'm from New York, because he lived in New York for many years. That man was always in control of everything. He had to be notified about everything that was going on, and then he made the decision. This is not something that just came across now with him. He's been like this forever. Forever. You know, nothing goes past him. So that is just nonsense. It is so nonsense when I hear people say that angle. Oh, Netanyahu's pulling his strings. No, I think it's the other way around. The president dictates to Netanyahu. And if you piss him off, there's going to be problems. That's different. It is President Trump who's the one that is telling Netanyahu, stay in line, do this, do that. If you don't, you're going to piss me off. Because if it was up to Israel during the 12-day, do you think Israel was ready to stop and cease fire against Iran? They wanted to go full. The president, back off. Let's go for a ceasefire. Where did the ceasefire talk come from? So it is the president that is dictating what's going on here. But I would assume, I don't have no evidence. Again, there's so much speculation. I would think the president said, listen, because they know. They have the intelligence. They're not stupid. They know the missile program is something they have to address. They know this. Rubio said it. The president said it. They all said it. At some point, that's got to be addressed. And I'm sure the president said, listen, like I said, I'm not speculating. You have to do what's best for your country to protect the people of Israel. If this is something you think you have to do it. Maybe that happened. I don't know. But so far, nothing's going on. And you know Israel definitely wants to deal with that missile program. That's an existential threat. I mean, that is a direct threat. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. That's their main deterrent. Did the message from Trump is true? What message? The one that was that text message? If that's what you're referring to, Muhammad said he didn't get it, but other people in Iran are saying they got a text. And he's in Iran. I think he's in, I don't want to say where he is. Muhammad is asking if you could have a caption translating YouTube. It's not that easy. Not just, of course, not just the missile program, the proxies. I know that. I know that. But that is a big one. How much snow do you have? Oh, God. You don't know what I went through. I think I burnt my belt out. I'm going to have to take my snowblower apart. And I'm good at building and fixing things. I got to actually order it. I think I may have worn out my belt today from doing that snow because it was a heavy, wet snow, like a foot. I struggled out there. I'm in a lot of pain actually right now. My back is bad. I have to eat before I take an ibuprofen or acetaminophen or something. It was really bad out there today. Heavy, wet snow. They're getting hammered in New England. Hammered. Worse than here. They got like 60, 75 mile per hour wind gusts and heavy, heavy snow. It looks like the main system went actually to the east of me, which I'm fortunate because I could have had 2 feet. I got a foot. Still a lot, but not as bad as they predicted. They did say 11 to 15. I got about 12. So that was forecasted right. Oh my God, my back. I'll show you. Oh, one of the cameras ain't working in the backyard, so I can't show that. I don't know. I gotta go outside. I ain't going out now. Do you know what it's like? Some of you do, but some of you don't. Like our friends down south. You should come live in Texas. You get snow there too a little bit. Not like this though. I can't wait for now. What's today's date? The 23rd? I lost track. 23rd? Spring is around the corner. It cannot, and now they're saying there could be another storm next weekend, this coming weekend. Oh, God, stop it. It's snowing right now. It's insulting. I'm not going back out there. I'm not. I am not. You could tell it's a wet snow. Look at the trees. Now the wind has subsided. It was bad all night. It's subsiding now. When the snow clings to the trees like that, you know it's wet. And it's the worst to remove. Even with a snowblower, it gets clogged. Oh, it's so annoying. Then I have to fix, like get the cats' houses cleared out of snow, make trails, like to the garbage, to the back. I had to clean the gazebo off. I was out there for hours dealing with that. Hours. I got up at 6:30 just to address this. Matter of fact, I better look at the front. Really, camera? You don't want to work now? Reconnect. What's going on with my other camera? It's showing it's working. Anyway, was a big storm. Oh God, don't go there with the storm. Vincenzo, that's what I'm hearing. Navy Mom said we got wet snow here and ice, no fun. Big storm, Kenny. Yeah. The other camera doesn't want to work. For some ridiculous reason. I'm not going to even bother. But it was bad. It was pretty bad. The good thing is it's almost done. For me, at least. Let me check the radar. Oh yeah, it's done here. They're getting nailed in Massachusetts. Boston is getting pummeled. Pummeled. It's done here. Pretty much where I am. Could still get a little back end snow. But look at the bands. Look at the bands going into Boston. I mean, it's like really, it's like intensifying off the shore. They're getting the heavy bands right now. Look at Boston getting those heavy bands of snow. See up here, it's starting to. We got a little. You saw the snow outside. It's getting a little light, and I'm not going to say exactly where I am. But they're getting hammered right now in Boston. Let's see. For sure, you do not have to go around and so you can spend all day on YouTube. I don't know about that, Vincenzo. Yeah, no. What's going on, Vincenzo? 17 Celsius. Nice and warm. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
It's currently 32 degrees with snow falling. Today's forecast shows a high of 35 and a low of 18 degrees. There's a blizzard warning in effect until 6 p.m. with 14 to 22 inches of snow possible and winds up to 45 miles per hour. Travel will be extremely dangerous. Please stay home if possible.
It's winding down. It's pulling away. It's pretty much done here. But that's crazy listening to that. Rain in the UK? Oh my gosh, it's been raining every day for like the last 3 months in the UK. Well, maybe Starmer will get caught in something. I'm just saying. I'm joking around, I know. Let me see if the president's put anything on Truth Social. So I'm going to air what the president reposted on Truth Social. This was yesterday. But it's interesting. He reposted Mark Levin's comments. And it was on Fox News. He's Fox News. Just listen. Just listen to what Mark Levin, because the president reposted it. Like, when he does that, that means he likes what the person said, obviously.
Deals ever. Why would they sign it? You see, the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, it's not a matter of a deal, a negotiation, or diplomacy, or playing this thing out. Khomeini, the Islamist Nazis, have told us what they're going to do. And they believe this is directed by God. And they have slaughtered tens of thousands of their own people in the last few weeks, over the years, in order to advance this agenda. Do you think signing a deal is going to stop anything? Do you think they're going to honor the deal? The issue isn't whether we negotiate. The question is, why do we negotiate? The question is, why do we think some deal is going to keep these people under control? It's not. Now, it might temporarily. They may pull back temporarily, exactly what North Korea did. Oh, they pulled back. They pulled back for a few years, and all of a sudden, hey, guess what? We have a few nukes. They will play this game. They look at long ball. And even if they were to pull back during the Trump presidency, that's 3 more years. What about after that? What if we get a Biden or an Obama? Or what if we get some weak Republican? The only president to actually take forceful action against Iran is President today, Donald Trump. What happens when he leaves? Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot, as our generation, leave it to the next generation, our children and grandchildren, to deal with this. We must deal with this. Or they'll have tens of thousands of ballistic missiles. They'll have scores of nuclear warheads, and they will be able to reach our country. And since they've been willing to slaughter their own people by the tens of thousands, you better believe that they will use those nuclear warheads against our children and grandchildren. They're weaker than ever before. They're not going to be this weak ever again. And they do not follow agreements. When we pulled out of that Obama deal in 2018, they immediately began violating the deal that was still in place with Europe. Systematic breaches. Iran intentionally reduced its compliance with the agreement in a phased manner, leading to multiple ongoing violations rather than a single event. Enrichment levels. Iran increased its uranium enrichment to 60%, significantly higher than the 3.67% limit set by the agreement. Stockpile limits. By late 2019, Iran breached the 300-kilogram limit on enriched uranium, later exceeded permitted stockpiles by 30 times. Centrifuge usage. Iran installed and operated advanced centrifuges prohibited by the deal. Monitoring suspensions. Since February 2021, Iran restricted the International Atomic Energy Agency of the UN from fully monitoring its nuclear facilities. Formal termination, they announced it in October 2025. You think our envoys or somebody else's envoys or signing an agreement is going to change the mindset of a terrorist regime that is slaughtering its people as I speak, that is already trying to build new nukes? We signed a paper, peace in our time? No. The problem isn't negotiations. The problem isn't they won't agree to this or that, or we can get the best deal in world history. The problem is them. The West needs to understand what we're dealing with. For 47 years, I don't know what it's going to take, but we need to comprehend what we're dealing with. That regime needs to be eliminated to save our children and grandchildren from having to deal with it, and to save the people of Iran who are, as I speak, being slaughtered.
Now, you might say, oh, he's ranting. No, he's not. I'm glad somebody other than I, because I will say I, going over the IAEA report and the NPT that I've talked about for God knows how long, how they have violated, they have not been transparent, they threw inspectors out. He read from the report, and I'm like, yes, finally, someone is making a point to put that out there. They don't comply. They deny. He's right, 2021. That's what I read from the report. For over 4 years, they cut off their monitoring, surveillance equipment. Oh, but they're transparent. We've abided. Bullshit. No, they haven't. That's why I keep bringing up that report. No, they haven't. They've at every corner, they do not comply. And we're supposed to make a deal with him? He's absolutely right. How do you trust him with a deal? They didn't even comply with the last one. Now they're saying, oh, we're going to work with the IAEA again. What? Been there, done that. And what did you do right away? When it was convenient for you, shut off the camera equipment, surveillance, inspectors, throw them out. Can't go here, can't go there. He's definitely telling the truth. And it drives me crazy. Because you have these sympathizers, I don't know who they are. Like, no, that's not true. Oh, yes, it is true. What he said right there is true. They even said some of the rhetoric coming out of Iran from some of these military people, oh, we can hit the United States. There's no way. What's up, Shay? It's what Mark Levin said, and the president reposted that. The president's aware of that clip. Why would he repost that? He agrees with Mark Levin. He wouldn't have reposted if he didn't agree. So he knows. Obviously, the president knows. That's exactly what has been driving me crazy for like 2 weeks. And I don't like to talk about it every day, but I need to remind people about that. I am so glad that somebody, Mark Levin, brought this to the attention to the president. The president's seen this. And he read the violations from the report. So he's reading from the report, and I'm like, yes, somebody. And the president's seen it because he reposted it. That's when I get concerned, like, are his people around him telling him, or they don't want to tell him because they don't want him? There could be some people in the administration that doesn't want him to know. They don't want him to see that. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, does he not know? And I'm glad he does, because he reposted it, that segment. And that makes me feel a lot better knowing that he knows. Not that he wouldn't have known, but at least I know he reposted it, so I know he knows. So I don't have to talk about it no more. Well, showing the report on the screen, showing all the violations, showing the summary. How they have not complied, they have not been transparent, they have been actually not doing anything in the last 4.5 years. They even threw inspectors out. Denied them access. Oh, and if you hear the foreign minister or Lavrov from Russia, oh, they've complied with the IAEA. Based on what Iran's telling them, they've complied. They've been transparent. Who are you fooling with that? You're so. Remember, like a week ago, he said that. I was flipping out. Because he was so blatantly lying. He said it in some kind of... Oh, no, he said it last week at Geneva. after the disarmament thing that he was at. That's when he said it, the foreign minister. And I'm like, are you serious? He's lying with a straight face, just dead on lying. I mean, blatantly just lying with a straight face. State of the Union tomorrow, yeah. I agree. Well, Kenny, tomorrow there's supposed to be an alleged deadline for Iran to make their proposal. Just the unpredictability and waiting for the outcome is hard to cope with. Just got to hang. Yeah, it is. But I'm so glad he posted that. Because now I know he knows. Like, he really knows the deal. He's not stupid. He's not naive. He knows that you can't trust Iran with a deal. The thing is, let's just say. Because what did they do the day before? The foreign minister, what did he do? He met with Grossi, the head of the IAEA. Like, that's supposed to impress anybody? And Grossi, I mean, these people are so weak. Seriously, these people are weak in position. Grossi is saying, oh, we went over technical details. Technical details? Why don't you tell the people while he's sitting there? Well, they don't have a history that we can trust because at every corner they were not transparent. So unless they make some major shift, this isn't going to work. That would be the honest response. They haven't been trustworthy for decades. I've told you there were 4 locations that we don't even know nothing about from the decades ago. They don't even know where the material went. They don't even know where the equipment went. Iran doesn't want to tell them anything. 4 locations. Forget about what you hear about Fordo and all these other places. Isfahan, Natanz. Forget about all those. They have a history. We don't even know. Let alone more recent times. This is a pattern of behavior. So can they be trusted? Signing a deal? And then who goes in to implement and to verify? IAEA again? Really? It didn't work out. It has never worked out. It's all delay. Then get into a little position like he said. Maybe there'll be peace for a minute. But they'll cheat and they'll do it right away. Once they think they're slick, the slimy slick can get away with it, they'll do it again. At every corner. Deny this, that. Oh my, it makes me, I swear, it makes me like want to. Oh, BB's definitely getting itchy. Does anybody disagree with what I'm saying? Because we have evidence. Documents matter. Evidence matters. Track record matters. Coming from the IAEA and the Non-Proliferation Treaty people. Both of them. Both say, what? And then they have the nerve to sit with him in the chair next to him and they're talking to him like, yeah, we can work on some kind of a deal moving forward. Really? How could you say that? How could you say that? These people are so phony. They're so... Oh, it just drives me nuts. Grossi sitting there. And then Grossi at the UN, he's on the screen before the Emergency General Security Council meeting, and he's like... The hypocrisy. He's all serious there, but then when he's sitting next to the foreign minister of Iran, he's like talking another, like, what? Oh my God, it makes me sick. It gets me, boy. If U.S. trusts Islamic, I'm telling you, I will kiss politics goodbye and will use no comment every single time. Oman confirms new Iran. Yeah, that was David. That was announced a couple of days ago. But remember, a lot of that is coming from the Iranian side. what I'm hearing from, because again, everything is speculation. Of course, I have to speculate because everything I see is speculation. They've confirmed this, but I have not heard anybody from the United States side say anything. What I am hearing is there is a deadline tomorrow, Tuesday, for their proposal for us to look at. There may not be no meeting. That's what they want to put out there. Oh, we're ready to meet in Geneva. And the Omanis will be the intermediaries again. We're ready. Not so fast. Not so fast. They're supposed to have submitted a proposal to Witkoff within 2 to 3 days. Tomorrow's that deadline. When the United States receives that, then we'll hear maybe, yes, there will be a meeting in Geneva on Thursday. Because the United States seen what they sent back and say, that's something we can work with, or maybe not. Or maybe not. So until I hear confirmation officially from Rubio or somebody else, it's all speculation. That's what they want. They want to put that out there, that they're willing to negotiate, but that's all bullshit. It's like a chess game, or it's to put it out there to say, oh, we were willing to negotiate. That's all it is. It's a game, and this is a dangerous game. Seriously, this is a dangerous game. So we'll see. We will know tomorrow, at some point, when the United States officially responds to this proposal from Iran. Until then, or maybe the proposal will be handed in today. Doesn't have to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline. But I haven't heard anything from the United States side that there's going to be a meeting or that the proposal has been seen by any officials. Witkoff. I haven't heard anything. Until I do, then, you know what I mean? Islamic reforms were trusted by Iranians during Khatami, Rouhani. Oh my God, I remember him. I remember him. Ahmadinejad, I remember him. At the UN, I remember that dude. Yes. I remember a few of them. Every time Iranians said, let's give them a chance, let's be hopeful enough. Whatever happened to him? Is he still around? The one before this guy. Like, I can't say his name. Ahmadinejad? Him? I remember the skinny guy. I remember him. But yeah, this is outrageous. Trump looking for a way out? I think Iran's looking for a way out. I don't think... Everybody... It's funny how people think that Iran somehow holds the cards here. No. The United States submitted what is pretty much demands. Iran is trying to play this negotiation game, and they're also pushing the Arab nations because they're putting fear and intimidation toward them. We're going to attack the region. So they're pushing back to say, listen, you need to find a diplomatic solution. Everybody's panicking. The president is just sitting, not talking much, and waiting. If there's no deal, there's no deal. Then shit's going to hit the fan. It's not like Iran is holding the cards here. They're not. They're about to get their shit wiped. It's the president that is holding the cards. If you don't agree to this, the only thing that concerns me from the U.S. side, because they were sticking to their word, they were saying zero enrichment, that is what I'm watching for. Is the United States willing to compromise on the zero enrichment part and allow, because that's been like out there demand, zero enrichment. Would they allow Iran to enrich uranium for civil use power, medicine, science, etc. That's the one thing that I'm watching for. Because that could definitely give some wiggle room there. And then I hear, Iran would stop enriching for 3 years. They would hand over their highly enriched uranium to Russia or Turkey. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff. But until we know the details, the exact details, which we don't, because there's so much speculation out there. Because Rubio said it once, and I was like, finally, somebody's talking about what the hell's on the table here. That was a few weeks ago. I was like, finally, somebody is telling me what's on the table. The nuclear, the missile program, the proxies, and the people of Iran, of course. That they had to, all those people that are detained right now need to be released immediately. I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing much about the missiles. I'm not hearing about the money to the proxies. All I hear is nuclear. But then Rubio said that. I was like, finally, somebody. But then it's always back to the nuclear. Is that the only thing on the table? And if that's the case, Israel's going to make a move. Israel's going to make a move. If that's the case, Israel is going to say, okay, U.S., you did that nuclear deal. You didn't address the missiles. We will. I think no matter how this plays out, something's going to happen. I don't think nothing's going to happen at this point. Because if it's not us, which I highly doubt that we're not, I still think we are. Israel, what would you say is the percentage of Israel striking Iran in the next month? I will never say 100% because nothing is guaranteed. Timing is everything, like somebody said. I would never say 100%. I wouldn't say 0 either. But I sure as hell think it's more than 80%. I promise you. You're right, Uncle Tank. It's like 40 chess. It's exactly. I would hope everyone is looking for a way out. Strikes should be the last chance effort. I agree. I agree with that. But do you think that's possible at this point? Put it this way, even if you struck a nuclear deal, can you trust Iran? I can show you the documents that shows you can't. Then what do you say? I sure as hell don't. Based only on evidence. Actual document evidence. Not speculation. Evidence of their acts, their behavior. There's not been a single proposed compromise that makes sense for either side. It's true, they're dug in. You're right about that. They are dug in. No one wants to give in an inch, it seems. That's why I just finished saying, would they compromise on the enrichment? From 0 to something low to produce power for science, for medicine? Would they? Iran is no way going to negotiate their deterrent, their missile program. There is no way. What country would? If that's your main defense, you would negotiate that away? You might as well just surrender. It's like what Tusi says. You might as well just surrender. Give it all up. What are you going to do? You might as well just surrender. That's their major deterrent, and they know it. You think they're just going to walk away and give it up? Or limit it to 300 kilometers or whatever the hell it is? Really? Really? You think they know that's their ace in the hole? They know that. You think they're just going to give it up? That shit makes no sense. I wouldn't. I sure as hell wouldn't. If I was the leader of the country and I know that's my deterrent. I ain't giving it up. Would you? Especially you know that's your main deterrent. Now, as far as the proxy money, you actually think that would happen? I mean, that's the lifeline. That keeps all of this going. The jihad against Israel. There's no way. And if they were to walk away from their proxies would flip out. You stabbed us. You have appeased the great Satan. Could you only imagine? You made a deal with the devil. Because remember, this is like a holy thing. In the name of. That ain't going to happen. Iran is not going to do that. Undercut from at least agreeing to a deal. They're not going to undercut their proxies. Look how the proxies are rallying right now around them. An attack on Iran is an attack on all of us. That makes no sense. It's not going to happen. There's no way. So, if these things are on the table, how does a deal get done? Where is compromise on that? Some money to the proxies? There's no compromise on that. Limiting the length of the reach of the missiles? So that's why I think there's really no way a deal can be made. And that's another thing, the trust factor. Like I said, I could pull up the reports right now. I get tired of doing it every stream. But the evidence is clear. They cannot be trusted. Because at every turn, they are not transparent. They do not comply. So how do you trust that? And the evidence is clear. And that's what Mark Levin was reading from. That report. The IAEA report. Right before Midnight Hammer. So, regardless of what you hear, the rhetoric, the data exists, the reports exist, and this, like I said, this goes back decades. Decades. It's not just like in the last 5 years. This goes back decades. No way. They say about nuclear speak, but they only when the sanctions, and that's another thing they put into the equation, the relief of sanctions. There's no way they're gonna. You think the president is going to lift some sanctions, all sanctions? No way, all. Is that part of on the table? The relief of some sanctions? You are just. He's even said it. I think it'd be best if there's a regime change. So what? You're gonna help them stay? By negotiating with them? It doesn't make sense to me. There should be no talks because we all know the IRGC is not going to hold up their end. Well, the Iranians don't think that we would hold up our end either. They say, oh, you attacked us during the negotiations the last time. We can't trust you either. But it's definitely heavily leaning on the one side. Yeah, never ever. And like I said, look, I can put the report up and you see it for yourself. You can download it. Go to the IAEA site. You can download the reports. You can read them for yourselves. I don't have to show you. Go get them. You'll see how they didn't comply. I mean, it's so much deception and lies, and it is just bizarre, and we're supposed to believe him? There's no way. There is no way. Not in my view. It just drives me batshit crazy, to be honest. It does. It does. It drives me nuts. Let me see. Let me see the PDF. I hate to use the language, but it just gets me. It's like, my God, are we that naive? And this is just the MPT part. Remember, they're the ones that oversee everything. This is just the NPT safeguards. This is different. The non-proliferation. But if you look at it, yes, they did. They agreed to be part of the treaty since March 5th, 1970. Okay? So that's different, the non-proliferation. That agreement. But if you read the report, right even here, background, as previously reported as a result of its evaluations of all safeguards relevant information. This is not the JCPOA. This is non-proliferation. It's different. The agency identified in 2019 a number of questions related to the possible nuclear material and nuclear-related activities in Iran that had not been declared to the agency and requested response to these questions from Iran. Iran doesn't want to talk about it. They don't want to address these 4 locations right here. These 4. We don't even know. We don't even know what the hell happened to the things they were doing or where it went. Nothing. And they sanitized the sites. Like in one site, it had undergone extensive sanitization and leveling in the past. The agency assessed there would be no verification value in conducting CA at this location. The agency's evaluation May 2020 of the issues relating to all 4 undeclared locations, and Iran's response to the agency request for clarification were provided, blah, blah, blah. The 4 locations, and it goes into it, what was going on. Remember, this is not to do with now. This is in the past. This location was first referred to in June 2004. Look how far back this goes. Meeting of the board in connection with alleged nuclear-related activities and the possibility of a concealment effort through the demolition of the buildings at that location. During discussions with the agency at that time, Iran stated that no nuclear materials declarable in accordance with the agency's safeguards was present, and that no nuclear material and nuclear activities related to fuel cycle were carried out. But there's evidence that indicates otherwise. Further to its previous report, the agency has been able to determine that based on the evaluation of all safeguard relevant information, the aforementioned natural uranium was drilled, processed, and used in the production of explosively driven neutron sources, also referred to neutron initiators, at that site on at least 2 occasions in 2003. They use small quantities of natural depleted uranium and are designed to initiate a nuclear device by producing neutrons in response to an imploding shockwave. The agency's evaluation also indicates that was produced at this site was small scale and designed for testing, and were integrated into scaled implosion systems and explosively tested on at least 2 occasions. Oh, but they said nothing was going on. But then they got the evidence. It is crazy, and this is going back decades. This is what I'm saying. Based on the evaluation of all safeguard relevant information, the agency concludes that approximately 10 kilograms of natural uranium metal, which has not been declared by Iran, was available to the Applied Physics Institute operating at this site in the period of 2002-2003. This uranium metal was used in the production of that thing that we were just talking about above. The source of this material is assessed to be the conversion experiments carried out at the Jaber Ibn Hayyan Multipurpose Laboratory between 1995 and 2000. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. And I'm not going to read the whole damn report. There's 4 sites like this. Some are more serious than others. There's 4. And it goes into some serious detail. The summary. While Iran continues to cooperate with the agency on matters of routine safeguards implementation, in a number of respects, as outlined in this report, its cooperation with the agency has been less than satisfactory. That doesn't sound like they're compliant or transparent, does it? Does it? In particular, Iran has repeatedly either not answered or not provided technically credible answers to the agency's questions and has sanitized locations as listed in this report, which has impeded agency verification activities. The withdrawal of the designation of several experienced inspectors, they didn't allow the inspectors, was also not in line with the required spirit of cooperation. Somebody meant spirit of cooperation? Well, there you go. That's right. They could have some primitive, like, low yield. Extensive consultation and exchanges, most recently on the 28th of May 2025, included a high level between the agency and Iran, have so far not resulted in the agency receiving from Iran technically credible answers regarding the nuclear material at these 3 locations and nuclear-related activities at all 4 described in the relevant sections of this report. Therefore, at present, the agency concludes that Iran did not declare nuclear material and nuclear-related activities at 3 undeclared locations in Iran, and their list is 3. Because of the lack of technically credible answers provided by Iran, the agency is not in a position to determine whether nuclear material at these 3 undeclared locations in Iran has been consumed, mixed with other declared material, or is still outside of safeguards. Does that sound, and I could read more. And look at the bottom. In light of the above assessment, the Director General reiterates his urgent call upon Iran to cooperate fully and effectively with the agency. Unless and until Iran assists the agency in resolving the outstanding issues, the agency will not be in a position to provide assurance that Iran's nuclear program is exclusively peaceful. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. Bottom line. This was May 31st of last year, this report. Look at the last line. Unless and until Iran assists the agency in resolving the outstanding issues, the agency will not be in a position to provide assurance that Iran's nuclear program is exclusively peaceful. Oh, but they're compliant. They're transparent. What? What kind of bullshit are we supposed to believe when this was by the board of directors? This is like this is a big thing. This is a big report. No, absolutely not. And we're supposed to trust them? The IAEA can't even get this. That's just one. That's the non-proliferation. That's just a non-proliferation. Oh, there's more. And I hate to have to do this all the time, but it shows how much they're full of shit. It gets me so angry. It gets me angry because they try to pull the wool over people's eyes, and we're supposed to believe them? Really? All of a sudden we're supposed to believe them, and they're going to work with the IAEA all of a sudden again? And this is what Mark Levin was referring to, this report. Oh, this is different. This one. And this is not just, this is China, France, Germany, the Russian Federation, United Kingdom, the United States of America, with high representatives of the European Union Foreign Affairs. They all agreed on the JCPOA. Remember Obama? But the Europeans stuck to it. And so did a lot of the other countries. The United States pulled out. But let's go to the bottom, because this is what he was referring to, some of the information in here, Mark Levin. This is what he was referring to. He was reading from the report. That's how I knew, because I've read the report. It's extensive. It would take forever to go through it all. But let's look at the summary. Oh, shit. Okay, wait. Right here. Summary. Look at the summary. And I'm going to read this one. The agency's JCPOA-related verification monitoring has been seriously affected by the cessation of implementation by Iran of its nuclear-related commitments under the JCPOA. The situation has been exacerbated by Iran's subsequent decision to have all of the agency's JCPOA-related surveillance and monitoring equipment removed. That's what he referred to, and it was over 4 years since. The agency has lost continuity of knowledge in relation to the production and current inventory of centrifuges. That's what Mark Levin was talking about. Rotors and bellows, heavy water, and U.S.S, which it will not be able to restore as a result of not having been able to perform the JCPOA related verification and monitoring activity for more than 4 years. Correct. Because that's what Mark Levin referred to, 2021. He is right by reading the report. That's how I knew Mark Levin was reading from the report. Iran's decision to remove all of the agency's equipment previously installed in Iran for JCPOA-related surveillance and monitoring activities, they removed it all. Look, Iran's decision to remove all of the agency's equipment previously installed in Iran for JCPOA-related surveillance and monitoring activities has also been detrimental, or also had detrimental implications for the agency's ability to provide assurance of the peaceful nature of the nuclear program. It has been more than 4 years since Iran stopped provisionally applying its additional protocol. Therefore, throughout this period, Iran has not provided updated declarations and the agency has not been able to conduct complementary access to any sites or other locations in Iran. Oh, they're compliant. They're compliant. Oh my God. It's actually the opposite. Absolute opposite. The significantly increased production and accumulations of highly enriched uranium by Iran, the only non-nuclear weapon state to produce such nuclear material, is of serious concern. The Director General will continue to report as appropriate. Now you tell me, that is like, without getting into, they're using language, without raising like scary red flags, that's a scary red flag by them saying that. So we don't even know. They don't even know. They know nothing. They know nothing about the other 4 unknown. Whatever happened to that stuff? Evidence says otherwise. Iran doesn't want to reveal anything about those 4 sites. They don't even know what the hell's going on now. And we're supposed to find out now? With a nuclear deal? All of a sudden things are just going to change. How? The United States is going to have personnel there. They're going to allow U.S. Personnel to inspect every location, everywhere, monitor them 24/7. Good luck. Good luck. And Mark Levin is right. You can't. On paper, signing something is different than actual verification, monitoring, and doing it throughout the country. You think they're going to allow Americans? Well, no, they're going to let the IAEA in again. How did it work out for them in the past? Matter of fact, leading up to last year before Midnight Hammer, over 4 years, they pulled all the monitoring equipment out. We don't even know. They don't even give them access to any sites or unknown locations. What about that unknown locations and other locations in Iran? What are those other locations in Iran? They're denying them access. These are probably locations they have in question, but they're not allowed to go there to check out. So that when I see this and I see what the rhetoric is, I'm like, no, no way. There is no deal. There's no, even if there was a deal, you can't verify it. You just can't. It's absolutely nuts. So that's why they want zero enrichment. That's why they want zero. Because you can't verify if you give them the civil level. How do you know they're not doing other things? How do you know they're not doing highly enriched uranium again? Who's gonna know? And don't say, oh, we're gonna have to trust them. Oh God, no! Don't use that word. That would be a mistake. We can trust them. Oh, that's not happening. So that's why it's like when I see this talk of nuclear deal and talks, and it's crazy. I don't care who you are. You can't trust them. I don't care who wants to sign a deal with them. It's not realistic. Oh my God. Exactly. As soon as you lock away, they're at it again. As soon as the eyes are off, they're at it. Rouhani led the effort alongside figures from his former government, including Foreign Minister Mohammed, as well as clerics from. I heard that they were. That's why they were on house arrest. I heard they were trying to overthrow him, the supreme leader, get him removed. It looks like there was some kind of a coup going on. And then they got them all. They rounded them all up and arrested them. And as a matter, we work out deals for oil, LNG, and minerals for the next 100 years. Could happen in Greenland. Could happen in Ukraine. Believe me, the minerals deal. Or Ukraine. You should read that one. It was signed last year, April 30th. You should read that. I always tell people, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. That's why I got documents. Because I can always flash up documents. But do your research. Research is good. It definitely is. I'm going to show you something. Matter of fact, now I opened my mouth. I was going to show it yesterday. I just don't know where the hell it is. I don't know if it's in my documents folder. Could be. But yeah, do you guys believe that their deal could be really made? Really? Do you really think a nuclear deal is actually something that can be done and verified and trustworthy? Hell no. So this is what I wrote the president. When did I write this? Like in October? But before I do that, I want to have the other document up. I've written to the White House numerous times. But when you do, they're going to know everything about you. So, before you do that, you might want to, if you have anything that you're worried about, they're going to find out everything about you. Just letting you know. I'm going to see if I have the other. I know I have it. I just got to find it because I don't want to read it without having to show you to back it up. I gotta find it. It's crazy because I've been downloading so much stuff. I'm going to have to take some time to clean out Trump response. There it is. Where is it? Okay. I have it too. This is what I wrote the president. Or the White House correspondence to the president. October. It took a couple of months for me to get a response, which I did. Dear, and I'm very polite and respectful. Dear Mr. President, first, God bless you, your family, and all those that stand beside you and your America First policies. I would like to bring to your attention, if your staff has not already indicated or spoken with you, concerning the minerals deal you signed with Ukraine. If Russia were allowed to claim existing territory it now occupies, they would also be retaining 70% of Ukraine's resources, including rare earth minerals which are held hostage by China. Please do not allow Russia to take this territory, since it will be, at some estimates, worth $12 trillion. I did the research. The deal you made with Ukraine will provide preferential access by U.S. companies and 50% of all future mining profits for all of Ukraine's resources. I did my research. This is, in my opinion, a major national security interest for the United States, which it is, and an incredible boost for our economy and less dependency on other countries, specifically China. This could be a legacy moment for you, for your administration and our country for many years to come. If you can provide Ukraine with any type of support, they can foot that bill, which they can, because of all those resources, with their share of profits and pay us back, and not at any cost to the American taxpayer. Please consider the ramifications of agreeing to existing lines and how this would be a major blow to minerals deal and would reboost Russia's economy, which would make them an economic world power once again, not just militarily. Have your staff look into resource locations in Ukraine and the vast majority that are now in Russian-occupied territory. I pray for you, your family, and all of us who love our country and want America great again. Keep up your fight for all of us and America first. God bless you, Mr. President. And I put Bill in New York. So then I got a response initially. And I actually wrote to people in Congress. I wrote to actually a lot of people. I made notes. I didn't even notice. That's interesting. I didn't even know I had all this background. I wrote to a congressman. I said, I will also copy and paste the White House correspondence response. Please look at the net value of... I wrote... This was to a congressperson. But here is the letter I got back from the White House. December 10th. A couple of months ago. Yeah, December 10th. This is what they sent me back. And it's signed, but I don't think he did it. But thank you for taking the time to share your views regarding the war in Ukraine and Russia. As president, I am steadfastly committed to restoring a foreign policy of peace through strength that puts the American people first. Guided by this common sense vision, my administration has already brokered major peace agreements between nations across the globe that have been torn apart by decades of fighting. We have ensured that our NATO allies dramatically increased their own financial contribution to Europe's security, a major win for American taxpayers, because I put that taxpayer thing in there. And we have rebuilt our own military readiness, achieving the highest recruitment number in years, because when our country is strong, the world is stable, and Americans are more secure, prosperous, and free. Thank you again for writing. Please know that I will continue to pursue a peaceful resolution to the war in Ukraine and Russia that puts America first, protects our citizens, and promotes stability and prosperity at home and abroad. Blessed are the peacemakers, sincerely. And I don't know if he actually signed it, but there you go. That's what I got back from my letter. So my point is, sometimes you have to be proactive and just try to contact. You might be surprised. And somebody mentioned the minerals thing. You know? I'm just saying, I'm just showing an example of my other concerns, and I'm not afraid to reach out in a respectful manner, which I know he won't. I mean, he may look at it because I'm putting certain things in there that will get his attention. And I've written to the president in the first administration 4 times. So they know who I am. There's no doubt about that. But the point is, sometimes it's good to take a proactive step. You'd be surprised. So I'm not writing about this. I'm not. I pick and choose the things I discuss. So I'm very careful, because it's like I've established, I think, a reputation of my letters going to the White House, and I'm very respectful no matter what. But the point is, somebody brought that up about the minerals in Venezuela. And, all that stuff. I brought it up to him about Ukraine. Because that minerals deal could be so beneficial. You guys have no idea. You should read it. And Zelensky agreed to it. I was like, oh shit. Look at this. The devil's in the details. I'm serious. Anyway, I'm done with that. I just wanted this because somebody mentioned Venezuela about the oil, and How bad is the storm? Massachusetts is really bad. They're getting the brunt. We missed the brunt. We got about a foot, but they're getting the brunt. And they're getting the heavier winds too. That's where the storm is really doing. New England is getting really pummeled. I got a foot, but not too bad. Oh, it was bad. Heavy wet snow. No good. No bueno. No bueno. Yeah, well, like I said, we have to see how this all plays out. But I get what you're all saying in chat, Mrs. Soriano and Tammy and everybody. And look, deal with current regime. Yeah, call, boom, boom, go away. My previous measures was after Reza Pahlavi is reinstalled. So yeah, I mean, so Vincenzo's putting new Israel has asked former senior officials in the defense establishment and in the civil service to return to the country as soon as possible. Remember, and that could be true. Just remember, when you see something coming out, try to see if there's other sources that are confirming what that one source says, because it's amazing. Like, let's just say it's like gossip. Somebody says something, another person sees it, they spread it. You know what I mean? But what's the original source? And then it's all over the place. And they're all grabbing and attaching to it and spreading it, reposting. You have to always go and try to verify the original source and is there any other sourcing involved? Because, like I said, somebody said it in chat earlier, it's like PSYOP. Both sides playing the PSYOP game. The chess game. They are. So it's hard to really interpret some of the things you see, and a lot of it is thrown out there on purpose or given to the press so they can run with it and put it out there so people see it. Now in this country, I don't know how many people are really paying attention to what's going on. I was actually surprised. I was going this morning because now I'm doing that. I don't watch news on TV, but I was doing it. I only did it for a few minutes because I was so busy with the snow. They were talking about Mexico. Quite a few of them. What was going on in Mexico, but nothing on Iran. They were talking about Mexico. Because the cartel thing affects the United States directly. That is definitely domestic related. So they will report on that. And I don't think they're really paying too much mind to Iran. What are the domestic implications of Iran? War? But they're not even focusing on it at all. They are talking about the cartels, because the cartels, that's direct. That's a direct threat. Right here. And they know it. And waging war on the cartels. Remember, it's not just, it's the people that deal with the cartels. Like mobsters or people who are making money by selling fentanyl. The gangbangers. That's connected. It's all connected. So, they're doing all that news reporting on it because they know. There could be definitely implications that happen in our country directly. And we have to keep an eye on that. If you have like an area where you have a lot of MS-13, you might definitely want to keep an eye on what the hell's going on. You know what I mean? So that's different. But I haven't seen much about Iran still. It's weird. How bad? Oh, you said that. How do you deal with a low-grade enrichment bomb even if you intercept it? The fallout is still there. Dirty bomb? Doesn't take much. an explosives device to set that shit all over, it's done. Doesn't take much. Iran will do it if they see they're going down. Like my friend told me, and you guys, some of you noticed, a month ago, and he's a veteran, and he told me a month ago, rumor is they would retaliate with a dirty bomb or dirty bombs. He told me that a month ago. And he's got connections, friends in the Middle East, in the military. And that was the word a month ago. That was the rumor he told me. Rumor is they would retaliate with a dirty bomb. That made me flip. He wouldn't just tell me that. That means he did hear it. That's scary. That scared me ever since he told me that. I'll call. I'm gonna try to get him on again. Look at the Truth Social post. He put another one out. Did he just do another one? Because I was looking earlier. The fire just freaked me out for a second. I'm so glad I got rid of this now. All right, I'm not seeing anything other than the Mark Levin and the thing on tariffs. Yeah, I don't see anything new other than that Mark Levin thing. This is all domestic related. And he mentions about the cartels. Of course, he mentions about Biden in the same sentence, but allowed unfettered access and ceded complete control to our border to the Mexican cartels. So it's no surprise to anyone that the cartels were able to obtain military-grade weapons and equipment that they currently possess. The amount of money that Biden and borders are, and he goes on, allowing the cartels to earn by encouraging and facilitating the unprecedented invasion of our borders is staggering. The thing see, again, to fact check, and I have the documents to prove it. The vast amount that is associated with drugs and guns and weapons are Americans themselves. Americans dealing with them. There has to be something on this side, and the money laundering. I have the report for that too. I have the document for that, for both the money laundering part and the drugs. When you look at that, I ain't buying that. No. Because, like I said, there are reports that were put out there by the government for Congress that say totally opposite. So that's sometimes, I looked at it and I'm like, shake my head because, and like I said, Alexa, how many Americans, oh, I shouldn't say it like that. Alexa, out of those arrested connected to fentanyl, how many of those are Americans?
83.5% of those sentenced for fentanyl trafficking are U.S. citizens.
Alexa, stop. 83.5% of people arrested connection to fentanyl trafficking are Americans. And you don't think they're involved with the guns and everything else? The money laundering that goes between? It is Americans in business with these fucking cartels. It just doesn't come in by itself. You got to have somebody on this side. 83.5% arrested related to fentanyl are Americans. Is that crazy? But like I said, I could show you a report that was issued to Congress last March. You probably never even seen it or heard it. I showed it on the screen yesterday when this whole El Mencho thing was going down. Mexico is the number one primary distribution, transit, etc. for all the drugs. Every one of them. And yes, China is the precursor for chemicals and equipment for fentanyl. In Mexico. It is Mexico. It's these fucking cartels. You see the one, and now it's on the list. Jalisco? That guy that was wanted for what, 15 million? That was one of them. And I said, fuck, finally, factual related something happened. That they are responsible, the Jalisco, and there's another one, for a lot what comes into the country. And they took the person out and some of the others involved. I said, now that's a direct connection. That's based on facts. I was like, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. Now we're getting down to the real root of it. And I said, yes. Because that made sense to me. That made total sense. Based on an actual document report that was issued to Congress, but you've never seen it probably. I showed it on the screen yesterday. Facts matter. I always say that. Documents matter. Okay? March 2025, this was actually given to Congress. And this is just one part of the other one's, this is about the drugs. The other one is money laundering. Oh my God, Americans involved. It's insane. So there are Americans responsible for killing and being responsible for what goes on in our country. And it makes me puke. It really makes me ill when I look at this. All right, I gotta move this over. Watch page 263. Because it's extensive. It is 263. Just read this first paragraph. It should tell you everything. Don't buy the bullshit when you hear that Venezuela was connected to fentanyl. And no! They're a transit country for cocaine. Cocaine. Nothing to do with fentanyl. Nothing. Zero. Lie. No. Wrong. No. They're a main transit company again. Country for cocaine. It's in the report. They have this report. Congress people have this report. It was made for Congress. But you would never know. They know. They know the truth. Now watch what's on this screen when I put it on. And think of what happened yesterday. That's when I said, oh shit, to myself, because I knew about this. This makes sense. They're going after them now. That's why I was excited, like they're actually doing something about it now. Now, let's just look at the first paragraph, Mexico. Mexico is the principal source and transit country for illicit drugs trafficked to the United States, including fentanyl, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. That first sentence says it all right there, just in that one. Just in the one. They are the principal source, number one. Mexican suppliers are responsible for production of most fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamine destined for the United States. Most. Mexico is the largest source country of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs trafficked to the United States. It doesn't make it any more fucking clearer. Mexico-based Sinaloa and New Generation Jalisco cartels. There, we saw that in the radar yesterday. That caught my attention because I read this report thoroughly, and that caught my attention. I said, oh shit, they're going after them. This makes sense. Are the primary distributors of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs in North America. Companies in the People's Republic of China are the largest source of precursor chemicals and equipment used to manufacture illicit fentanyl and other synthetic drugs in Mexico. So this paragraph says it all. Right here. This paragraph, then it goes into detail. This paragraph says it all. It is Mexico. The principal source for everything, especially fentanyl. Number one, the largest source country of fentanyl. We hear about fentanyl all the time. No, it's Mexico. They're making it in Mexico. The Chinese are supplying the fucking precursor chemicals and equipment to make the fentanyl in Mexico. It's not in Venezuela. It's not in Colombia. It's Mexico. And it's those two main cartels, Sinaloa and the new generation Jalisco cartels, are the primary distributors of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs in North America. Well, what happened yesterday? Who'd they go after? They went after one of them. And I was like, oh shit. They're going. Actually by boat is incorrect. Incorrect. Most of it comes through points of entry, legal points of entry by truck, vehicle, person. You have to look at the details. You have to really do the research. They need better monitoring equipment at the points of entry. Because some of these people that go back and forth, it's 30 seconds. 30 seconds they get through. They need better modern technology to detect this shit. And it's going to cost money. You need to do the research about the points of entry. It's not the boats. Some of it, of course, boats, but the majority is legal points of entry by Americans. Don't take my word for it. Do the research, because I'm not going to make this whole day talking about this. Facts matter. Data matters. Not speculation, not opinion. When it comes to stuff like this, facts matter. Yes, it does. Like there is, but remember, the vast majority is points of entry. Not through tunnels, not through drones, not through boats. Points of entry. Is that crazy? Points of entry. Alexa, what percentage of fentanyl is brought in through legal points of entry? I don't know if Alexa is going to answer that.
88% of fentanyl is seized at legal ports of entry. U.S. citizens account for 80% of those caught with fentanyl at these crossings.
88%. 80% of those are Americans. I'm surprised that thing actually brought up numbers. That's about right. It's actually a little off. And Kenny's right. They can scan maybe 5% of trucks. You have it. It is bad. They need, if they really wanted to address it, they have to do a better job at the points of entry. That would be a great start. That would be a great start. It would. But regardless of all that side stuff, Mexico, cartels, they went after one of them. That is big. That's big. What happened in Mexico is big. For us here, we may not understand that. But what happened was, with that Jalisco, that was like one of the most wanted men in the world heading that cartel that is responsible. Tell him this for the fentanyl. Now you're going after them. Now you're going after the fentanyl. These are the fuckers that do it. They do other things too. The cartels they're involved in all kinds of human trafficking, undocumented, you name it, all that. They're involved in all of it. But they are one of the main suppliers to the United States of fentanyl. So when I saw that, I was like, because I read this report, and I was like, Jalisco. Holy shit, they're going after them. It ain't over. I gotta, whoever, I'm just saying, because I'm all for it. They are terrorists. They are definitely terrorists. I'm so glad that somebody, whoever it was it whether it was someone in the administration, the president himself, working in tandem with the Mexican government, finally developing some kind of a spine. Though they're paying the price now because it's literally like a war in the streets there. But somebody actually had the guts to take out the fucking head of that cartel. That is huge. You want to talk about a set of cojones? That's huge. I can't emphasize, because like I said, when you put the report together with the actions, they're taking action now. This is long time coming. Remember, that report was made in May of last year. Oh, no, March, I mean. And I think this is just the beginning. I think there's about a bunch of whip ass about to happen to those cartels. I hope this is just the beginning. And I know the dangers involved, but if we're going to deal with this issue and we want to talk about fentanyl and everything else, well, you have to go after it. If we're going to try to rid the country of the poison and, everything associated with this, and that's just this one thing. Like I said, they got their hands in a lot of fucking cookie jars. You take out that cartel. That's big. That's big. Not the cartels. That does so many things, not just for our country, the border, security. This is big. Like I said, when I saw that, I was like, somebody brought it up to me in Discord or I don't know where. And when I seen that, I was like, oh, I've got to definitely look into this. Because when I heard and I saw Jalisco, I was like, oh shit. Because that instantly hit my mind. Because it says it blatantly. Mexico is the largest source country of fentanyl and fentanyl analogs. Mexico-based Sinaloa and New Generation Jalisco cartels. And the one that got hit yesterday, the head of Jalisco. You know what I mean? Yeah, cargo, again. Remember, I'm not saying 100%. Of course there are other ways it gets in. I'm not saying it's 100%. The facts are that a vast majority is coming through points of entry. Of course there's other sources. Like you said, boats. A lot of it goes through Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, here. There, it's across the board. The Coast Guard's busy. It's other sourcing. There's no doubt. Cargo, like you said, cargo. Can you only imagine what that scares me in period about cargo coming in to ports? What could be in those containers? That scares me in a whole different way. Because it ain't just drugs. That scares me. When you talk about that. Even a fucking bug that comes from Asia. It could be anything. We've seen that actually happen. So, and yes, paid off, corrupt. If somebody is down and out and looking to make easy, well, I don't want to say easy cash, you don't think they can be bought? They see that money? The kids in New York City do it all the time with the gangs. They see the flashy phones and sneakers and clothing, jewelry, all that. They're bought up by the gang bangers. They recruit them. They flash all these things. You could have all this. It's just almost the same analogy. It's similar. It's like, I can show you the cash. And we have to cut that. We have to cut that chain. We have to get rid of it. We have to stop it. And there's going to be consequences to that. adverse consequences. There's no doubt about that. But you always look at the short-term consequences, middle, long-term. Hopefully in the long run, you can eliminate most of this. At least that would be the hopeful plan. And just like you cut the head off one, another one grows. That's why you just don't go after the top. You go after the other people below. Not the low level. The low levels, they're just the distributors and they're the ones that like hired guns. You want the people that are part of the organization. The people that are putting all this together. You start there. It's a good place to start. I don't want to go for the low end. I want to get those people up on the top. I'll deal with them, but I want the people that are responsible for the organizational part of it all. Because they're like the brains behind the operation. They're not just a hired gun. They're the fucking ones that are doing all the stuff to organize all this. You know what I mean? And that's just... the Mexican government, for sure. That's why I said it's about time that somebody in Mexico did something. But that could just be a little tea leaf thing. Like, it's a one and done. And I hope that doesn't happen. But you're right. There's corruption everywhere. But Mexico is bought by the cartels. They are bought. In my opinion, they are bought up by the cartel. The cartel runs the country. China has tried for many years to grow the cocoa's plants but failed. That doesn't surprise me. Far from the right soil and climate. It's one thing when you think of the cocoa, the good things of cocoa. Oh, God. It's crazy. We live in crazy times, really. It's kind of sad. Like, when you really... Let me see if there's anything new coming out over Iran. Oh, God. Just trying to catch her. Wait a minute. Excuse me. This just came out. An Israeli... Here we go again. An Israeli source quoted in the Saudi media reported a serious threat from Iran against Israeli missions abroad. According to him, Israel has raised the alert level at embassies in Europe, the Far East, and Latin America. And Israel has even requested former security personnel and senior officials to return to the country as soon as possible. Oh boy. That's another thing we got to watch, the embassies. You got to watch everything. You can't just pick and choose. You got to watch everything. So this also is just come like they're posting about it. This is from the Times of Israel. Netanyahu. An attack on Israel would be the most serious mistake in Iranian history. We've heard that already. If war with Iran comes, internal conflicts will be put into deep freeze. Opposition leader Yair Lapid tells Knesset during 40 signatures debate. So he's saying we're going to put aside our internal issues. We're all going to unite against Iran. Pretty much. That's what that comes down to. So the opposition leader is saying, I'm going to work with Netanyahu. We're going to work together. We're going to put all this deep freeze. All this internal stuff, put to the side. We all need to focus on Iran. That's pretty much. Let's see if anything else is going on. But I got to be honest. Even in this country, I don't want to see people endangered. But the cartels are here, especially down south. Let them expose themselves. We're waiting for you to expose yourself, and we're going to take you out. You know that. We're coming for you. You try anything in our country, we're coming after you. And we are going to eliminate you. Not send you back, not send you to prison. We're going to eliminate you. That would be the way, that's my attitude. We're fucking eliminating you. You are a terrorist. And I don't think that's too harsh. I think many Americans would agree with that. Even bipartisanly, I think would agree on that. Because fentanyl, death, destruction of families, it's not a partisan thing. It affects everyone. In my opinion. I think everybody would agree that we need to take these fuckers out. I would hope. See, like, this is what they're saying. This is what drives me nuts. See, this is why I can't do this all day long. Because I'd go nuts. I would actually lose my mind. The U.S. has begun evacuating its bases near Iran, making war imminent. Chinese, and they're showing more Chinese satellite imagery that shows the Americans are withdrawing their assets from Qatar and the naval base in Bahrain. Most air assets are being evacuated to Saudi Arabia. You know, there's so much rhetoric out there. Iran is now, this is 9 minutes ago, Iran is now operating on the basis that American strikes have become inevitable and imminent. That's Al Arabiya saying that. Iran has already asked all of its students in Iran to leave Iran. What? Wait a minute. What the hell does that mean? Oh, Iraq. Iraq has asked all of its students in Iran to leave Iran urgently. And that's from Yalla. Whatever that is. Probably a news outlet in Iraq. Channel 13. Netanyahu is holding security consultations regarding the latest developments on the Iranian front. That was 10 minutes ago. So I don't know. That has nothing to do with the security meeting last night. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're showing more Chinese. A Russian military cargo aircraft landed in Iran a few hours ago. Iran is gearing up for war. Okay, we've seen a lot of that for fucking weeks. China, Russia, we've seen this. Not new. I mean, how many times? We know that. We know what's going on. Helicopters, who knows what the hell. We know that. It's like, we're stating the obvious already. Oh, there's another Russian one coming in. There's another Chinese coming in. We know this. Okay, wait a minute. This is as of today. I gotta save this graph. That's why I don't want to sit here and rehash like the same old thing over and over again. It's not news. It's been going on. Like, stop. We know. Hold on, I'm trying to get this image up. It would be this one. I can't believe it's 12:33 already. I was up at 6:30 this morning removing snow. It's like cray. So I bet you this is Ellis that did this. Who did this? Oh no, it's a different source. U.S. military deployment in the Middle East in anticipation of possible military operation against Iran. So this is just showing you the assets in the area, the tankers. Look at this. It actually breaks it down by numbers. I'll leave that on the screen for a second. I'm not seeing the F-35s on that list, unless I'm missing it. It's not a complete list. Whoever made it. They got the Raptors. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's more than that. See, I don't believe that. And there's definitely not just... That's definitely not true because there was already a sub to Georgia in the Med. So this is not complete by any stretch. It shows you some. It is not complete based on the things we've seen. Absolutely not. No. But see, they put that out there. Iran Deputy Foreign Minister. There we go. Our right to peaceful nuclear energy is non-negotiable and guaranteed under international law. So that means if the United States is saying zero and they're saying bullshit, it's non-negotiable, there's no deal. Unless the United States is caving. And that's what I said earlier. Are they compromising? Tehran will resort when necessary to its legitimate right to self-defense in accordance with the United Nations Charter. They're talking about their missile program and their sovereignty. And then it says here, Tehran needs to present its points to the negotiation team by Tuesday. The agreement final deadline is Thursday. There's so much bullshit rhetoric. I can't take it. Like I said, it's just back and forth. It'll drive you crazy. It really will. It drives me nuts. I can't just sit here and bouncing back and forth to this nonsense because it's continual. They're talking about Lebanon again being evacuated. Iran International's talking about it. Because I'm going all over the place now. It's all over the place. And Europe is doing the same. Yeah, it's like that they're regurgitating the same thing all around everywhere. The Prime Minister is currently convening, Netanyahu, a limited security discussion with Defense Minister Katz and the Chief of Staff. I guess that's ongoing. He just posted that. Unplanned and urgent security consultation at the Prime Minister's office at this time. Dramatic times ahead of us. That was a reporter from from Israel. Well known. I'm not going to say his name. Unplanned and urgent security consultation at the Prime Minister's office at this time. And then he writes his own comment. Dramatic times ahead of us. Take that for whatever it's worth. Exactly. Even though it says February 23rd, though, Kenny. That's what I said. That's not accurate. That chart, not accurate. It did say February 23rd. It's not accurate. It's not up to date. When I saw some of the numbers there, I said, no, not right. Have a great one, KP. Is that Kathy? I'm going to depress myself viewing other podcasts. Oh my gosh. There are 7 KC-46, that's the Pegasus, tankers are stationed in the Azores, in the Atlantic next to West Africa. Check its location, Bill. B2 gas station. Yep. I don't have to check it. Cluster, when you tell me something, I take your word for it. A snake chasing, I like that, John. I actually like that phrase. A snake chasing its own tail. Or his own. I like that. That's a good one. I might have to remember that one. Forget about their planes. They'd be crazy to put their planes in the air, Iran. It's. I don't want to say the word because I might get hit by it, but you know. You'd have to be insane to take off with the planes in Iran. This isn't Vietnam. It almost reminds me of the Die Hard movie when they're in the helicopter. I wasn't even born You know, that conversation reminds me of Vietnam. No. And F4, they're falling apart as it is. Could you imagine putting an F4, a Phantom, in the air against a 35 or a 22, even an F-15, the upgraded? No chance. Absolutely zero chance. That would be like, oh my God. I can't even like picture how you could make an analogy to that. I know they shouldn't put it in the air because they're instantly going to get shot down. You can't even consider their Air Force. Iran, they don't have an Air Force. Just say they don't have an Air Force. I don't care if the Russians gave them helicopters. That's my fear. Those attack helicopters are for using it against their own people in an uprising again. That's what I'm worried about with those helicopters. They're not going to be used against us. They might try to say they're going to use it against any kind of special ops that we might put on the ground. I think those helicopters are intended for its own people, sadly. To use them in suppressing the people uprising. We have to take out those helicopters. They are a threat. I think they're more of a threat to the people of Iran than they are to us. Just my opinion. I'd be very concerned because they're capable of using those helicopters against their own people. The Ospreys are heading to Crete. Everything's like going to Crete now. There's a lot of shit going on in Crete, but it's going on in a lot of other places too. U.S. even sent some 8 cents. I saw the video. I showed it. I deleted it already. I showed it yesterday in Crete when somebody was taking a video from like inside a plane and showed the warthogs and all the fuelers and the fighters and exactly an F-22 against a F-4. Oh my God. Iran has 11 or 12 Su-35s, 37s in exchange for the drones and missiles. That's impressive. But and those are impressive. But do you think they have a chance? Do they even know how to operate them in training properly? You could deliver something. I ain't going to even tell you about the people that I know that are contractors that travel places to help train, and the training takes time. It's one thing to ship them. It's another thing to know how to use them and be trained using them. And I could tell you from people that I know personally that are in that business of training. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But it's okay. So there was something else. That's it. They're floating the same thing out there. What's up, Chantal? They still use beeper tech communication. Oh my God! You would think they learned a lesson from them. That it's the lack of flight and combat practice that will. Yes, I agree with Cluster on that. That's why I mentioned that. The lack of training. Inexperience with those. That's why I brought it up. Like I said, I know. I can't go into details. That's not something I'm going to do. Do you think the U.S. attack Iran? Yes. When? Who knows? But I think it's inevitable. I do. And like I said, who wants really war? Like somebody mentioned in chat. I hope they find a solution. I don't think we're going to find a solution here. I think this is something that's going to hit the head. When? I have no clue. We can all guess. Look what people are doing. Betting. Polymarket. People are betting. Oh, it's going to happen tonight for the State of the Union. No, it's going to happen tomorrow. It would not happen during the State of the Union. Because I think the president would want to be in the situation room with his people in a circle when the shit he gives the order. I don't think it's going to be done during the weekend. Who knows? Probably won't be before the State of the Union tomorrow night. I agree. But then again, who knows? What time is it? It's almost 1. It's almost 9. What is it? 9:30 almost in Iran now? Something like that. It gives me a headache to try to put the clock in my head. Alexa, what time is it in Tehran?
It's 9:16 p.m. in Tehran right now.
Oh. These Russian planes. And again, we could play this game on and on and on. Now, the Russians might be taking people out of Lebanon. That could be happening. The people are pulling their people out. Still a lot of C-17s back and forth. It's not anything unusual. I see the Ospreys now that you were mentioning heading to that chart. What is the name of that base? I see it though. Somebody brought that up in chat. I think it was Brian. Yep, at that base, the Chania. That's the one in Crete. Yeah, there's that going on. They're still moving in little pieces here and there. It's no way near as what it was. That is one thing. And yeah, you'll see the constant. It's not like it was though. It's starting to. Here's C-17 coming back. Another one maybe going. They're still doing their thing. That's a big boy. It's either a tank or a C-5. Yeah, it's a super galaxy. Saudi Arabia. But it came down from there. What is that about? That's the base. The base is right about here. So did it land at the base and then it took off? I mean, you can go crazy with this all day long. We really could. Been there, done that. They come and go. This is continual. They're still, they really looks like they're refortifying a lot in Saudi Arabia now. Because I think the Saudis mentioned they would allow the United States to use the airspace after all. Don't quote me on that. Could have swore I saw that. But I don't know if it's true. I could have swore I read that last night or yesterday. I might have to look it up. I could have sworn. See, now here it says it bars, but that's old. I better do past week. Maybe past day. Does anybody else hear about that? I could have sworn I seen where they're gonna allow. I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to just search all day for it. What? I posted it early. I wasn't looking at Discord. But you did post about it? Oh, that's a good point. I showed the videos, about the carrier near Crete. I showed that earlier. That's a good question. How much will he discuss tomorrow night at the State of the Union with Iran? Because it would be good for him to do that, to touch on it, because a lot of the American public aren't even aware of what the hell's going on. Because if you watch mainstream media, I mean, you literally, if they even talk about it at all, you would literally miss it. Because it's like talked about for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, if that. So I think the American people, I think it would be a good idea he brings it up in general. Because a lot of the public probably isn't even aware what the hell's going on right now. Saudi said yes? I agree. It's one final warning. This is it. Yeah, for the nuclear. That's why the other shit's not on the table. The proxy, the missiles. You got to remember, there was an outcry. Free the people of Iran that are detained immediately. They need to be released immediately. I haven't heard anybody talk about that. That the people that are being held should be released immediately. You know that's not going to be on the table. Iran's never going to do that. So, it's the other stuff too. I think, but see, they said it's because this is where, like I said, makes my head spin. Because of the concerns that Israel's going to hit Hezbollah in Lebanon, but they have been. They haven't stopped. That makes no sense. It has to do more with a U.S. strike on Iran to get our people out. Or the threat to our people there from the jihadists. Hezbollah. But to say it's Israel attacking Hezbollah? No. It has to do with something else. Because I've seen that. I was like, that don't make sense to me. There's a reason this is taking quite some time. Proxies can harm not only our assets, but our allies. Yes. Even with top-grade defense, there's always the minor risk. Absolutely. There's a risk in everything. Everything. There's always a risk. No matter what you do, there's a risk. What's going on? I'm live. What's happening? Huh?
You're gonna get that hard drive tomorrow.
Oh.
I think Wednesday.
Good, because it's not a good idea to go anywhere, at least today for sure.
I was about to say, how deep is it yet?
It was about a foot when I cleaned.
Is it wet snow?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh my God.
It took me 2.5 hours.
Hope that basement, when that shit thaws, I hope that basement don't flood.
Nah, I don't have that problem because my house it's a slanted ground, and I built the French drains and all other kind of drains. It was horrible getting rid of that snow, even with the blower, because it kept clogging up with the slushy.
Dude, that's the kind of shit that we get down here.
Oh.
Normally, this year it was the powder shit like we used to get in fucking Utah.
The powder shit I'll take any day. It's that wet.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But this shit down here, we're at the temperature range where it's warm, you know what I mean? It's on the warm side of freezing. And fucking, it's always heavy, wet snow, heavy. When it's snow. Many times, though, we get the ice.
I'm actually in a lot of pain just sitting here.
Oh, fuck, Bill. God, you gotta be careful, son.
No shit.
You gotta be careful. You ain't no fucking spring chicken no more.
I know. And The thing is, I think my belt is starting to go on the snowblower. So probably tomorrow. I ain't doing it today. I'm gonna take the snowblower apart, order a new belt, put a new belt in, because I could smell it from trying to turn with the slush blocking it, and it's trying to turn it, and it's no good. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I think I wore the belt out, but I gotta look at the model of my No, for real. I
I
s-
know. I know, bro.
oh,
You get fucking bundled up, get out there in it, get the good, get to rocking and rolling, and fuck.
I gotta.
Before you know it, you're smelling fucking rubber burning.
I did. I smelt the belt. I did, and I'm gonna have to look at the model because I don't remember what model is, and I'm gonna have to order a belt for it and take the whole thing apart and put a new belt in and do all that shit because it ain't working right now because
Yeah.
it's slipping and it's not allowing it to
Well, y'all
spin.
got everything you need at home, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Shit,
So
y'all stocked up for a fucking small army.
yeah, because I had to. I knew this was coming, but now they're
Oh,
saying there's another one.
you and Ma always do. You got that little freezer in there.
Yep.
I remember. Well, let me ask you a question.
Remember, we're live. Go ahead.
Okay, but block it. Turn it off. I don't want. It's,
That's work related. Work related. Oh, I know there's no audio. You're not supposed to hear the conversation. That's work related. That's internal. That's like having a meeting. Short meeting. All right. Who knows? Like I said, no word on Tusi going live later, soon. I haven't rested since like 6:30 this morning when I went out there. I hope it's not snowing anymore. Oh my God. Telling you. I haven't eaten either. That's not good. After doing all that work and I haven't had nothing to eat yet. Oh no, that's not true. I had 2 of those Swiss rolls. Pure sugar. Not exactly healthy. He was already live talking about the UK stuff. Yeah, that was it. There's no scheduled upcoming right now for him. Let's see. You guys are too much, you know that? Anyway, I think it's a good time to take a little break and go. I don't even want to know if it's snowing. I swear, I don't even want to go there. Like to look at the ring to see if. I'm telling you, I'm hurting right now, and I can't take medication until I eat. I'm not taking medication on an empty stomach. Gotta eat first. And I'm not even like hungry, but I gotta eat. The fire's having fun. I mean, look at this. It stopped snowing, which is great news. I don't know if I have to go back out there and look at it. Look at it. Oh my God. The wind is still gusty. I mean, I just want spring already. That's it. I'm done. I'm so done of winter. Really. I am so done. And I always say, when the year that we're going to get hit, the year, it's been quite some time. This is the first year that I've gotten snow like this in like 12 years. And I keep saying that every year. We're due. We're overdue. Well, we're getting it now. We're catching up. We're definitely catching up. I just don't understand. Okay. Let's take a look at the front camera. You want to see the kitties come out? I cleared their houses. You want to see them come out? They're due for food. So it doesn't look like I got to do more shoveling. Let's see. Let's do the kitties. They got to be hungry. Let's do the kitties. We're going out there. My back is really bad. Really bad. Oh. Hurting. What happened? What's the matter? I was not even around. I gotta feed those cats. Oh, my back is killing me. Killing me. I'm not doing nothing more, no more today. I am hurting. My snowblower, I felt it's not working right no more. save the chicken for Tycho. He might eat it. I don't know if he will because he's got that burning taste. I don't know, he might. She came out. The other one probably will come out. They're both cats are in their houses. The other one, I don't know if she came out. One came out. Those are heated houses, so she came out. There ain't no way I'm going back out there to do any other shoveling or nothing. I'm done. You could see it's clearing up. It breaks. Thank God. I'm so done. Axios. Cats are shivering. No, they're actually warm, Richard. They don't like to come out of their houses. Those are heated houses. They're actually warm. And the temperature's not that bad here. It's above freezing. That's why it's a wet snow. It's not. They shivered when they got out of the house, that's for sure. But they went right back in. She'll go right back into that heated house. There's two of them. For the cats. The feral cats. Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just catching up for you guys. Yeah. Joint Chiefs of Staff has been advising President Trump and top officials that a military campaign against Iran could carry significant risks. That does make sense. It does have significant risks. Anyway, I think it's time for a break. Because, like I said, the back is sitting here is causing me, you may not notice it, I'm shaking my legs from pain. Literally, I'm like sitting here with some serious pain. Like, for those who have the back pain, you know how that feels going down the leg and it's like stabbing and painful. I'm going through that right now. So I'm going to go take care of that. Anyway, you lovelies, have a great rest of your day. I'll be back later. If anything goes on, for sure. I don't foresee anything, but you never know. Maybe the State of the Union tomorrow, afterwards, who the heck knows? I'm going to look at the flight traffic. It's packed, so there's nothing going on. So I'll be back later. I may game later for a little while too. I may just take it easy, but keep an eye on everything. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Be well, be blessed, be safe. See everybody later. Until then, Mexico's gone quiet for now. Yeah, exactly. Gnarly. That's exactly. I have to eat first, though. I'm going to eat, take medication, and lay down. What time? I would say a couple of hours. Like, to be honest, do you know what I'm going to go do right now? Do you really want to know? You'll hear it in the background. Unless it's not, they're not covering it. Oh, I can't even walk. My back is hurting. This is what I'm going to do. Oh, man, I hit the wrong channel. It's 5. Actually, this one.
For Miami, a 21 home.
They're not showing it. You see, this is some bullshit.
Still defensively behind the plate, still trying to
Why
figure
not?
things out a little bit more.
I guess I'm not going to watch it.
When that bat plays.
The Yankee game was supposed to be on the MLB network, but it's not.
At the end of the first half, 60.
Oh, maybe it's raining. I heard there was a problem at the Yankee spring training field. I was going to watch spring training baseball, but I think something happened, like sewage issues at the What is it with this sewage? I got to see if that's true before I get off. What's it called? George Steinbrenner Field issues. I think there's something going on that they had to. Sewage issues, 19 hours ago. Alter Yankees practice plans. Is that crazy? What is it with this sewage issue stuff going on? Pungent sewage had the New York Yankees flowing across the street as drainage issues that flooded parts of Georgia hold the pregame workouts at. That's crazy. What is it with this sewage shit? I'm not even kidding. I knew I heard something about it, but I didn't know it was true. It's true. What the hell's going on with this sewer issue? My God. Yeah, Bill, it's been a stressful few weeks. Go rest. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to. Really? Even the carriers, yeah. I'm like, I was going to go relax, watch the game, chill out. There is something I'm enjoying on Netflix. I'm going to finish it. Night Agent. I like it. I'm on season 3, but I'm like in the middle. I'm going to go finish watching The Night Agent. I think it's called that, Night Agent. Birdman. Oh my God. Anyway, you guys, I'm going. See you later. I'll be back like in a couple hours after I eat and chill out for a little bit.